All right, cricket fans, buckle up. We're diving deep into the career of Kagiso Rabada.
He's one of those bowlers, man. Just dominates, especially in test matches. And get this, you will not believe how fast this guy got to 300 test wickets. It's insane.
What's really amazing is it's not just that he hit 300, he destroyed the record.
Yeah.
Fastest ever to get there. Beat Waqar Younis's record, which had been standing for what, like 2 decades?
Yeah, no kidding. And here's the thing. Even Rabada didn't think it happened in Bangladesh. Thought the pitch would be better for spin bowlers, not seam bowlers like him. But I guess that's what makes him so good. He can just adapt and dominate anywhere.
Totally. The conditions in Bangladesh surprised everyone. The pitch had way more seam movement than anyone expected, and Rabada he just used that perfectly.
Whoa, wait. Back
Yeah.
up for a sec. For those of us who didn't grow up with cricket,
Sure.
what even is a seam bowler? And why do some pitches help them more? Okay, so think of a cricket ball. It's got this slightly raised seam, runs around the middle. Seam bowler uses that seam to make the ball do crazy stuff when it bounces. Like it can swerve, dip, even jump in weird ways. Makes it super tough for the batsman to hit. And some pitches, they make that movement even worse. And that's exactly what happened in Bangladesh. Rabada's seam bowling, oh man, it was a nightmare for the other team.
So everyone's expecting a spin bowling show, and Rabada's like, nope, seam bowling time. And the numbers he put up in this match and his whole career, they're ridiculous. We're talking about someone who's not just good, he's historically great.
Totally agree. Only 11,817 deliveries to reach 300 test wickets. That's the fewest ever. Like over 700 fewer than the old record.
Wow, okay, that really puts it in perspective. So it's not just about getting the wickets, it's about getting them fast and all the time. Right.
Exactly. That's where strike rate comes in. Rabada's is 39.2, meaning on average, he takes a wicket every 39 balls he bowls. And get this, that's the best strike rate out of all bowlers with over 300 test wickets.
Wait, so lower strike rate is better? Like if a baker makes 10 cakes an hour, they have a faster strike rate than one who makes 5?
Perfect analogy. You got it. Lower strike rate means you're getting those batsmen out more often, puts a ton of pressure on the other team. And to really see how good Rabada is, let's compare him to some other greats.
Okay, let's do it. How does he stack up against legends like Dale Steyn or current stars like Jasprit Bumrah? Where's he at compared to those guys?
Well, if we look at strike rates, since Rabada's debut in 2015, he's still top of the list. Dale Steyn, who's an old legend, right? He's got a 42.3 strike rate. And Bumrah, who's a force, he comes in at 44.
So even among those amazing bowlers, Rabada's ability to take wickets fast, it's unmatched. It's not a fluke or anything. It's just consistent dominance.
And that's what makes him so special. It's not just raw talent or a few good games. Rabada brings, every series he plays.
Okay, color me impressed, but I got to ask, is he a threat to AL kinds of batsmen? Does he have any weaknesses? Or are there just, no answers for this guy?
That's a great question. And that's where things get even more interesting. You see, Rabada's performance, it's not just brute force. It's about understanding his game, knowing how to adapt to different situations. And trust me, those little details, they add a whole other layer of complexity and brilliance to his career. We'll dig into all that after the break.
Okay, so we know Rabada's a wicket-taking machine. His strike rate is just bonkers. But now I'm curious, how does he do against different kinds of batsmen? Are there certain guys he just owns?
That's where you see how smart Rabada is as a bowler. One area where he really shines is against lower order batsmen.
Hold on, lower order batsmen. I need a cricket translator over here.
Right. Okay, so think of a cricket team's batting order like a pyramid. The top order guys, those are the stars, the ones who come in early, supposed to score most of the runs. Lower order, they come in later, usually positions 8, 9, 10. They're more about defense, trying to stop the team from losing all their wickets quick.
Gotcha. So they're the last line of defense.
Exactly. And Rabada, he just loves to take them apart. Over the last 10 years, his bowling average against lower order batsmen, specifically positions 8 to 11, is a crazy 10.05. That's the best, by the way, out of all the bowlers who've taken at least 30 wickets against those guys.
Oh, so he's not just getting them out. He's getting them out for cheap. Why is that such a big deal?
Because cleaning up the tail fast, it's huge EE. It stops the other team from scoring those late runs. The ones that can win you a match.
Right. Like shutting down any chance of a comeback. Makes sense. I bet Bumrah's up there too, right? When it comes to lower order batsmen.
You bet. Bumrah is a close second with an average of 11.35 against those guys. But Rabada is just on another level. How consistently he does it, it's insane.
Okay, so he's a nightmare for those lower order guys. But what about the top order batsmen? The ones who are supposed to score big? How does he do against them?
Still really good, but not quite as dominant. Over the last decade, his average against the top 7 batsmen is 27.17.
Okay, still impressive. But I guess some other bowlers have done even better against those guys.
Yeah, that's right. In the last 10 years, we've got Kyle Jamieson, Jasprit Bumrah again, the legend, James Anderson, Vernon Philander, Pat Cummins, Moran Morkel, all with slightly better averages against the top order.
So it's not that Rabada's BAD against them. It's more like he's chosen to focus on those lower order guys to really shut down the innings.
Exactly. It's about strategy. Different bowlers are going to excel against different types of batsmen. Depends on their skills, the pitch, the conditions, even the situation in the match.
Makes me think back to how Rabada was surprised by that seam movement in Bangladesh. Maybe those conditions were just perfect for him. But against those top order guys, it becomes more like a chess match.
I like that. You're right. Pitch conditions, weather, the specific batsman, all that stuff matters. To really appreciate the game, you got to understand those little details.
Okay, I'm hooked on these details now. What else can we learn from looking at how he performs against different players?
Well, check this out. Let's look at right-handed versus left-handed batsmen. We see something pretty interesting.
All right, hit me with the stats.
Against right-handed batsmen, his strike rate is a scary 37.43. He's taken 201 wickets from them at an average of 18.85. But against left-handed batsmen, strike rate goes up to 44.28, 101 wickets, average of 25.63.
So definitely stronger against righties. Makes sense, right? Bowlers usually have those kinds of preferences based on the angle, the swing, all those technical things.
You got it. They develop their skills and strategies over time, and some techniques just work better against certain batsmen.
See, there's so much more to analyzing a bowler than just looking at the overall numbers. You got to understand how they adapt, how they use their strengths.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And speaking of adapting and evolving, there's another chapter in Rabada's career we need to talk about, his comeback.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering when we'd get to that. Didn't he have a bit of a rough patch before coming back even stronger?
Absolutely. His last 20 test matches, he's been on fire. 100 wickets at an average of 19.09, strike rate of 34.2. That's even better than his career average in strike rate.
Wait, hold on. So he's not just keeping up his high level, he's actually exceeding it. What happened? Did he change something? Find some new focus?
That's the big question. Before this run, he did have a dip in form. Lasted about 2 years.
Yeah, I remember. Everyone was wondering if he was losing it.
There were definitely doubts, but this comeback shut everyone up. It shows how dedicated he is, how he can analyze his own game, make changes, come back stronger.
But it's not just talent. It's mental toughness, too.
Exactly. That constant drive to get better. That's what makes Kagiso Rabada so special.
We've covered a lot, man. His 300th wicket, the record, how consistent he is, how he dominates certain batsmen, and this crazy comeback. My head's spinning. But I got to ask, where does this all lead? Where does Rabada rank among the all-time greats? What's next for him?
Those are the big questions, right? And we're going to tackle those head on. In the final part of our deep dive, get ready for a serious discussion about Rabada's legacy and what he could still achieve.
Okay, so we've looked at Kagiso Rabada's career, like really looked at it, the crazy stats, what he's good at, not so good at, and that amazing comeback he had. But where does it all put him among the all-time great bowlers, I mean?
That's the question, huh? Tough one to answer. But looking at everything we've talked about, that record-breaking speed to 300 wickets, how consistent he is, how he just destroys lower-order batsmen, and the way he came back stronger than ever, yeah, I'd say he's earned his place among the greats already.
I mean, you don't break a record that Waqar Younis held for, what, over 20 years? Unless you're something special. What do you think is his most impressive achievement so far?
Man, it's hard to pick just one. But hitting that 300-wicket milestone at only 28 years old, that's insane. Think about it. Most bowlers don't even hit their prime until their late 20s, early 30s. Imagine what he can do in the next few years.
That's what blows me away. Not even in his prime and already rewriting the record books.
Yeah.
So where do you see his career going from here? What kind of legacy is he building?
Predictions are always tough, especially in sports. But if he stays healthy and keeps this up, Rabada could become one of the most prolific wicket takers ever. In Test cricket history, I mean. We could be talking about a legend like Shane Warne or Matthias Muralitharan.
Whoa, now those are some big names. But yeah, I can see it. And think about the impact he's having beyond the stats, inspiring a whole new generation of cricketers, especially in South Africa. He's a symbol of excellence, dedication, never giving up.
Absolutely. He's a role model on and off the field. That's something that'll last way longer than his playing days.
So anyone listening out there, if you see Kagiso Rabada running into bowl, remember, you're not just watching a talented athlete. You're watching history in the making.
And here's something to think about. How will his game change as he gets older? Will he come up with new techniques? Can he keep that insane strike rate even as batsmen get used to him?
Great questions. It can be fascinating to see how it all plays out. This is one deep dive I'll definitely be following closely.
Same here. That's the beauty of it, right? The story's still being written, and we get to be a part of it.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the career of Kagiso Rabada. He's a force of nature, that's for sure. And who knows what incredible feats he'll achieve next. Until next time, keep those wickets falling, and we'll catch you on the flip side.